Good Friday morning, morons and gearheads. This is the free edition of Moron Money. For a couple extra Moron Monies every week, you can go to patreon.com/Blind Mike. That's me. That's where you find the Blind Mike Project as well, and all sorts of other stuff. So check out Patreon if you like this content and want a little more. But remember, this is Moron Money, where we don't give financial advice. If you take your financial advice from someone like me, you're a bigger moron than I am. It's merely for entertainment purposes, and hopefully we can give you the information to go out there and do your own research, and then come back to us and tell us what you found in the comments. Smash the like button, leave a comment, smash the. I hate that I said that, but that's what these YouTubers say. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps out the algorithm so we can gain morons and build the army of morons that we're creating. Crazy day, crazy week in cryptocurrency. Dogecoin is running wild. That seems to be what everyone's talking about right now. A lot of Bitcoin news as well, and a little news in the stock market that we'll get to. But for now, Dogecoin up over 30 cents. It's getting crazy. And I will tell you that I just sold the majority of my Dogecoin at 30 cents. And then, of course, that may end up being a mistake. It may get, I think it's actually very likely that it gets up over $1. Typically, most people make their money selling too early, I have found. And the more I looked at it, I don't see a lot of reason why Dogecoin is going as high as it is, which always scares me. I know Mark Cuban and Elon Musk are really hyping it up, and the Mavs take Dogecoin for merchandise. Tesla does not accept it yet and doesn't appear to. So that when it will get serious is if Elon Musk says, I invested this much in Dogecoin, and Tesla will be accepting Dogecoin to buy cars the way they do with Bitcoin. That has not happened yet. There's no news that suggests Dogecoin is here to stay. I do think with those guys hyping it up, that it could very likely, continue to move, continue to pump past $1, and maybe even higher than that. Honestly, the power of the internet is pretty crazy as well. Once things take off online, that's originally why I bought into Dogecoin, because people on TikTok were trying to pump it to $1, and I was like, the power of social media is that it can pump to whatever they want it to if they try hard enough. We learned that with Wall Street Bets, who we'll get to in a little bit as well. But should you buy Dogecoin right now? My personal opinion, I would not. Do as you want. Like I said, if it goes over $1, you triple your money. So, it's not, I don't think it would be crazy of you, but my typical strategy is that when things are hitting all-time highs, that's more of a selling period than a time to get in. And it's tempting because a lot of people look at it. I just had a buddy text me yesterday. He texted me about crypto 2 weeks ago and saying he's thinking about getting in, and he didn't pull the trigger. And then he goes, if I invested when I said I was going to, I would have 4x'd already in 2 weeks. And that's the case with a lot of people. A lot of people get that FOMO. A lot of people, afraid of missing the boat on any cryptocurrency, especially something as wacky as Dogecoin, I guess. And it's cheap. That attracts a lot of people too, that you can buy a bunch of Dogecoin and take the ride with it. But my personal opinion is trading is a dangerous game. I always say that. I tried it when I started and realized very quickly it's not just a 24-hour a day job. It's also you have to really be confident in knowing what you're doing and have money to lose, because you will lose. So that's why trading scares me, and that's why Dogecoin scares me. Leave in the comments if you like Dogecoin. Let me know why. If you think this is actually a buying period for Dogecoin, let me know why. Or if you're selling, if you're like me and you're kind of getting out, you're like, this might be it. And of course, it'll hurt when it hits $1. But and I did keep a little bit. That is always my strategy: is keep a little bit, so you don't totally want to kill yourself. You can at least justify that you stayed on the boat for some. All cryptocurrency is having a wild week. People have talked about this happening for a long time. They said this is the bull market. Once Bitcoin takes off and then cools down a little bit, you're going to see these altcoins. People have predicted more of an alt season towards the fall, October, November. People see it going really nuts. Maybe that's another indication you should buy. You should not be like me. But with Bitcoin, I always trust it a lot more. The dips are something you should be buying with Bitcoin, in my opinion, because of all the positive news. And we do have negative news today. I'm not just going to sugarcoat it for you, folks. There is negative news in the Bitcoin world, and that is that Turkey has banned purchasing with Bitcoin. You can no longer buy goods with Bitcoin in Turkey. Now, that scares a lot of people because what they hear is Bitcoin banned, which is always terrifying. You've heard it with India a lot over the years, but particularly recently. You hear it with Russia all the time. It pops up from time to time that, oh, we're going to ban Bitcoin, and it's very scary. What you should focus on with the Turkey thing is they banned purchasing goods. They did not ban Bitcoin. You can still, download whatever app and buy Bitcoin if you so choose. You just can't, buy a Tesla with it, evidently, in Turkey. So that doesn't really scare me because all that means in my mind is that they haven't figured out a way to tax it yet. And once they do, you will be able to. And by that time, it will probably be a lot more common. There will probably be a lot more options for you to buy goods in Turkey with your Bitcoin. So, and also, I don't think this is the time to be spending your Bitcoin. So, in a way, Turkey kind of did their people a favor. You see, obviously, Tesla, we talked about. PayPal just sent an email out to 300 million users saying, hey, you can use Bitcoin at checkout if you want. Feel free to buy Bitcoin on our platform. That is a gigantic audience for Bitcoin. And I don't think people realize how big a thing that is, that PayPal is using it, and that all these other institutions are coming on board. I think that far outweighs any bad news about Turkey or India. The signs to me still remain very positive. And again, it's tough when the price surges to all-time highs. Well, do you buy in or do you wait for the dip? That's what I really don't know. But what I do know is, in my opinion, Bitcoin is here for the long haul. So I don't think dollar cost averaging ever hurts you. I think if you buy into the all-time high, if you believe it's going to go much higher than that, I don't think it hurts you to buy at the all-time high and then maybe buy a little more when it dips. Dollar cost average. So that's my stance on Bitcoin. The Grayscale just bought into ClearShare, is it? An ETF provider, which indicates they are really trying for that Bitcoin ETF, as well as others, like we said, Goldman Sachs, and I think Morgan Stanley is the other one, or JP Morgan. I believe Morgan Stanley, filing for Bitcoin ETFs. So the fact that Coinbase went public on Wednesday, was it? That indicates that, to me, that crypto's not going away. They are a real business now. And evidently Kraken and others are not far behind, at least trying to go public. So the more that happens, the more Bitcoin and cryptocurrency becomes in the mainstream and becomes accepted in the financial world. If crypto exchanges are going to be listed on the NASDAQ and things like that, that to me indicates acceptance. And according to the numbers, hodlers are growing at a historic rate. People that are just holding their Bitcoin, buying it and hanging on to it for dear life, that number keeps going up, and the number being pulled off exchanges and all that. So that to me all indicates positive news for Bitcoin. Again, can never tell you what to do with your money. So if it scares you, get out. But you could be like me with Dogecoin, where I'm watching all you Dogecoin millionaires and wishing that I didn't just sell it to pay a month's rent or something. But that is, it is kind of cool that a thing that was worth, 0.002 cents when I discovered it, so probably a lot less for even more people. It just literally paid my rent in one sitting, and I didn't put that much in. So, but do what you want in the world of crypto. It is going pretty nuts right now. I also sold a little bit of XRP. So, follow my lead or don't. I recommend doing your own research before you do anything. But that's the state of crypto right now. The state of the stock market is a little shakier. You see a lot of the things that we've talked about, especially having some rough times. Aphria is down in the dumps. They missed earnings. A lot of people calling it a dreadful earnings miss. Aphria has gotten some bad press recently. CEO Erwin Simon did his best to kind of temper the chatter about Aphria, APHA, if you're looking for that. They missed earnings. They horrible earnings report, but Erwin Simon blamed it on COVID. I don't know if I totally buy that, to be honest with you, but I do think it was certainly a factor. And they talked about getting into they launched a couple new brands this week and talked about expanding into food and beverage sectors, which they already have kind of a foot in the door with Sweetwater Brewing and Manitoba Harvest. A lot of the negativity I've seen around Aphria is that they are not in America yet. And that even when, the borders open up and it's legalized federally, that Aphria is a step behind a lot of other companies. By the way, I should mention, of course, the merger passed with flying colors. The shareholders said, please do this merger. We're all in. So it seems like that's going to go through, which I believe is good news. It makes them the biggest cannabis company in the world in terms of sales. I find that to be good news. And I do find, so back to what I was saying, people say, well, they're not in America. That's going to really set them back. But Erwin Simon has done a tremendous job of trying to ensure that they will be in America. Excuse me. That's what that Sweetwater Brewing Company deal was about. And again, he's talked about doing more things like that. So the idea being, Sweetwater Brewing Company, which I was just at a restaurant last weekend where I saw, this is the strangest thing. A side note, we'll give you a little light banter on a Friday Moron Money. We were at this restaurant and they said they have a 420 Sweetwater Brewing beverage, but they put it on the menu and it was not available yet. They're like, oh no, we just have that because it's coming soon. I was like, what are you, fucking advertise? This is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, point being, Sweetwater Brewing is already kind of in that cannabis-infused beverage sector. And when they can start selling actual cannabis-infused beverages all over the country, I think having Aphria having Sweetwater will be a big advantage as far as them trying to break into America. So I don't see it as a problem. But again, do your own research and let me know, because I am a moron, as the title indicates. So if you have a reason I'm wrong, please leave it in the comments. Be my guest and do me a little teaching. The other one that someone asked me about this morning. A good gearhead named Frank reached out to me, which you can do on patreon.com/blindmike. I always answer questions on there, so feel free to reach out. But this gentleman, Frank, said he, like me, is long on Nano Dimension, NNDM, the 3D printing company that I've talked so much about, that ARK Invest has heavily invested in, and my girl Kathy Woods is all in for. So Nano Dimension having a pretty rough week. They went below, I think they're back above, at least as I record this, back above $7, but they went under $7 for the first time in a while. And they have had quite a dip, quite a tumble over the last few weeks. There does not seem to be any real news that indicates panic. The one thing I will say is they do keep diluting the share price with these constant direct offerings. There have been a bunch of direct offerings. Now, they do have no debt, and that's led to them also having a lot of cash. Now, we'll see what they do with that cash. We've yet to get any indication that that's going to be spent wisely. The only thing that is encouraging to me with Nano Dimension still in the long term is that, we had this dip, obviously, and ARK Invest and Kathy Woods bought over 600,000 more shares. Now, that's a fairly small percentage compared to what they have, but it does indicate good things. To me, that's a signal that they're continuing to buy. If they sold 600,000 shares, that would scare me a hell of a lot more, obviously. So I still consider Nano Dimension a long-term investment. My philosophy is kind of, unless there is terrifying news, unless there's bone-chilling news about the company, if you see something that really indicates bad news for the future, or a sign that things are really going to go downhill, that's when you sell, not when other people are selling. You don't just sell when others are selling, because that could be for a million reasons. Part of it, I believe, is that Nano Dimension was a big trading stock. A lot of people bought into Nano Dimension who had no idea even what it was. They just know the price volatility and were able to play that smartly. And now, as the stock market takes a little bit of a break, maybe they're deciding, well, we're going to get out of Nano Dimension. It could be a lot of that, but I believe if you're investing long term and you're banking on that dragonfly technology that Nano Dimension has, then there seems to be nothing that has scared me away yet. So that's my take on Nano Dimension and Aphria. Um, there's been no real movement with the penny stocks that I've mentioned. Cinedigm, people have mixed reviews on. Tellurian, which I have mentioned before, people seem high on Tellurian. And there does seem to be, I was reading an article about um, speculation that there's possible options that people could be banking on, where Tellurian could go to a real run here. Could be looking for a big pump in Tellurian. I don't know enough about trading to really tell you how I feel about that. But Tellurian is another one, long term, another penny stock that I like. And again, when the market is down, that's why I'm more into the stock market lately, because all these cryptocurrencies have been hitting all-time highs. So I'm just kind of standing pat and watching my crypto portfolio grow. I've bought a little more Bitcoin here and there, but not much. I have enough where I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable with this, and I'm just going to watch it take off. And I'm at the point now where if Bitcoin has a 50% pullback, I'm still in the green. So that's why it doesn't scare me. I understand why it would scare other people. But if Bitcoin has that 50% correction that people talk about, I'm still ahead. So that's why I have a little more positive spin on it. If you're just getting in, I can understand it scaring you. But just try to understand that with Bitcoin, we haven't even tapped into the future yet. Like, it's just beginning. You're just starting to see now. Was it Beverly Hills? I think there was one in Beverly Hills and maybe one in England also. Mansions going on sale and accepting Bitcoin. You can pay for them in Bitcoin, and it was crazy expensive houses. I don't think anyone will buy those in Bitcoin, but it is interesting that people selling a house for that much money. Why would you be selling it for Bitcoin? Bitcoin's nothing. If Bitcoin's worthless and it's it's a bubble, then why would you be accepting that much money in Bitcoin? That seems like quite a gamble. And obviously, to get the size of houses we're talking about, they must have made money in some form or fashion. So I think Bitcoin, I don't even think we've tapped into 1% of what Bitcoin could be. So just keep that in mind. And as far as the stock market, when I see things that I like dipping, that's when I say, well, you know what? I'm going to sell Dogecoin, or I'm going to sell XRP, because I've made a good amount of money with that. I've made an amount that I'm comfortable with. So even if I watch Dogecoin go to $1, I'll have in the back of my mind, I'll be able to tell myself, well, you made a nice profit. You didn't make as much as you could have, but you made a nice profit. And you put it towards the stocks that are dipping that you like, that you see a future for. In general, I'm not huge in the stock market anymore. But look into dividend shares. Maybe we'll do a show about those coming up soon. But stocks that pay high dividend yields, look into those, because when you invest in those, it kind of just keeps compounding. Your money's making money for you. And if you automatically reinvest, you just kind of keep earning on those shares. So that is a good way to go, I think. And also, kind of monitoring and buying the dips on companies that you like. And if you have a ton of shares in one particular company, it doesn't hurt to take profits every once in a while and then reinvest in the companies that are dipping that you also trust. So I'm sure that was very confusing. I hope that kind of made sense to you guys, but we make a lot more sense on the Patreon episodes. So I guarantee it. So don't be afraid to check out patreon.com/blindmike. If you like this, or you want to check out the Blind Mike Project, or any of the other stuff we do back there on Patreon, go to patreon.com/blindmike. And I'm trying to go to this YouTube channel. I know it's only a small number of people right now that I'm talking to. But hey, if you guys tell a friend, hit the like button, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. And let's help grow this YouTube channel, because I think we are at least giving information that people new to the stock game and new to the crypto game should be interested in. So if you have anyone like that, let them know and send them the link and tell them to check it out. And I think that's pretty much it for this week for the free Moron Money. Of course, we'll be back every Friday with the free episodes, and our next Patreon episode will be Sunday if you guys want to check that out. Until then, let's keep making money.